All the stupid things I say and do and never really stop when I should never have begun. I really ought to drop it, but it's faster when you don't even have time to stop and think about the things that you were saying, cause they never really matter. But it's empty spaces in the air. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Oh no, all the million little empty spaces in the air. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Oh no. Oh no, but
Hello and welcome back to Keep a Vegan. My name's Ben, and the light is too bright. Anyway, so today, big news. Logan Paul says that he's still vegan. He was caught, well, not caught, he's allowed to be there. He was at the LA Veg Fest, and he was seen by that vegan couple. And they had a chat with him. Apparently he was at a vegan restaurant and he was given a card that said come to VegFest. He went to VegFest, checked it out, and he seemed to enjoy himself. Now, the reason I'm talking about this, YouTube gossip not really entirely being my thing, is because opinions are a little bit all over the place on this one. I don't know if... No idea what the fuck that was. Opinions are kind of a little bit all over the place. I don't know if you remember 3 months ago, it came out that Paul, I'm going to call him Logan Paul because my dad's name is Paul, and it makes it weird saying Paul as a surname. Logan said he was going to go vegan. It was kind of an offhanded remark in one of his videos, and I was thinking about doing a response video at the time because again it kicked up a lot of bit of a furore. But I decided against it because there wasn't really much to talk about. There was no further developments on that front, nothing else said, so just kind of assumed that it was a kind of a bit of a joke or something that didn't really go anywhere. So, first off, for those of you who don't know who Logan Paul is, he and his brother Jake are former Vine celebrities who moved over to the YouTube platform after Vine was shut down. And they have a fairly active presence. They quickly rose to being some of the biggest names on YouTube, in part because of their separate channels where they reference each other and they do diss tracks and responses. It's this perpetually increasing cycle of views where people who are on one side or the other will watch their own side's videos and they'll go over to the other side. Whether you like him or hate him, it's fair to say that but Logan and Jake Paul have taken the platform by storm, in good ways and in bad ways. Most people will remember that we started off this year on the YouTube with Logan Paul filming a dead body. I went to what is colloquially known as Suicide Forest in Japan, at the base of Mount Fuji, and basically this is something that a lot of YouTubers have done before. It makes sense. It's a place you can freely go to. It's supposedly haunted because of all the people who've committed suicide there. But in a first, Logan Paul found a dead body, someone who'd hanged himself overnight, and then featured that person prominently in the video and in the thumbnail, and the tone of the video was very flippant. He was wearing a stupid alien hat, and it was pretty horrific, actually. The complete lack of respect seems too kind of cliched a term for it, just lack of comprehension of what they were kind of screwing around with. And this drew attention to Logan Paul. Other people were looking at his other videos and seeing kind of continued examples of disrespect from both that Japanese trip and so on. There were 2 apologies from Logan Paul. One was very flippant and disinterested. The second was supposedly more heartfelt, although it certainly could be read as someone who was saying what they had to say at that point. He then took a few weeks away from YouTube, came back, kind of played up on the fact that his subscribers had increased since the Suicide Forest video, and promptly returned to controversy by finding a dead rat in his apartment and tasing it with a taser, and also taking one of his koi carp out of the fish pond outside his house and trying to give it CPR because he thought it was sick. Some people would say the jokes of someone who doesn't really comprehend the world around him. Others would say the hallmarks of a burgeoning sociopath. The thing that's frustrating is the apparent, not lack of self-awareness. It's the lack of comprehension in what's serious about the situation. Both he and his brother have continually caught controversy, and they seem to give very little indication that they give a shit that they're doing bad things. Obviously, this is all gleaned from viewership on YouTube and news coverage, interviews and stuff like that. It's impossible to say anything about a person, but the image that he presents, not a good one. The thing that really bothers me about Logan Paul, and we'll come on to the vegan thing in a second, but this kind of ties in. The thing that really bothers me is there are quite a few kind of reported instances where kids are bullied at school because they are part of Logan Paul's following and it's a Jake Paul school, or they don't have the right merch. There's a massive emphasis in both Paul's videos on buying their merch. More so now the ad revenue is not so great. And it is very manipulative. It's very self-aware. It's gross. It is really gross. It is child-oriented capitalism at its finest. It really doesn't sit well with me. Being a kid is hard enough without kids finding other things to bully each other over. I don't like it. And to be absolutely honest, I don't like the man. So when it was first announced he was going to be vegan 3 months ago, a lot of people were like, yep, fantastic, he's got all the followers, this would be a fantastic thing for the movement. A lot of people were thinking, holy shit, this is the end times, we had a nice run. Both cases are too extreme one way or the other. As far as I'm concerned, the correct response is more of a kind of middle ground kind of thing. First off, yes, he has, I think, 17 million subscribers, I think. Yeah, if he takes this seriously, because he says in the interview with that vegan couple that, it's possibly something he's going to bring up with his audience sometime soon, then that's good. He has a lot of people following him, a lot of kids who are influenced by him enough that they will buy his merchandise. They'll ask their parents to buy merchandise. It's good to see an influencer doing the right thing. If you're going to brainwash kids, brainwash them with the right message, the truth. I suppose. The thing that concerns me is if it doesn't go well, if he doesn't eat properly, he makes himself sick and maligns veganism, or if he does, as he has said before, as he says in the interview, potentially attend a slaughterhouse vigil, and he decides to make a video out of it, that's good if he does it with the right tone. If he does it and he spends the time taking the piss and basically making a joke of the situation and the animals, then that will be bad, and it will seriously harm it will harm the perception of his audience of what veganism is all about. If he maligns it because he's not feeling great on the diet, he's not eating properly, or just because he gets bored of it, then it's something that could have a knock-on effect by turning a lot of people against something which everyone needs to adopt. Let's be honest. We're not talking about a crazy fad diet that's going to make everyone super skinny and happy. We're talking about fixing the main problem that's destroying the planet. We're talking about helping everyone's terrible, massively, rampantly declining health. And we're talking about stopping animals from being dragged through a system which is abusing and torturing them to produce food which is also killing the people that are eating it. So it's a good thing if he does it right. If he does it wrong, then that's my only concern. 3 months ago, I was much more concerned because if he was to attend something like a slaughterhouse vigil and make a massive joke out of it, he's going to attract traffic from the people who want to see him take the piss out of vegans. He's also going to attract traffic from the vegans who are furious, and he's also going to attract traffic from the news organisations that want to report on their two biggest, funnest talking points, having it out in comment sections. I don't feel like that's going to happen, predominantly because he's been vegan for 3 months now and he's not really said anything. So yeah, I'm cautiously hopeful. Obviously, if he's doing it right, and he's a smart. He and his brother both seem like this, for all intents and purposes, smart people. So I've every faith that they're probably going to do it right, and they'll see benefits, and they'll go through the usual thing that a lot of us go through when we go vegan. So I am hopeful. I think this would be a good thing, and if he's able to pass the message on to his audience and cultivate that understanding with them, fantastic. That's brilliant. That's only going to be a good thing. But yeah, time will tell. Not really much in the way of sources for today's show, but as always, if you are curious about what this veganism thing is all about, then you can head to the website. You can check out other videos. We've got all the science there as well for nutrition, environment, and the welfare of the animals, as well as the Bad Source archive. We've got comics and fact slides, all that shit. If you've got a couple of dollars kicking about spare, then feel free to buy me a beer on Patreon. But other than that, as always, save the planet, save the animals, save yourself. Go vegan.